Good afternoon. Today we're at the home of Clarke Carlisle, the chairman of the Professional Footballers Association. We're just going to have a quick chat with him today about his role and his route into football. And he's just going to give us some words in terms of what it takes to become someone in his position. So first of all, one of the questions my son always asks me is, how do you become a professional footballer?
Well, initially by having some ability. I think a lot of people feel that professional footballers are lucky to become players, but that's far from the actual case. There are so many guys who are blessed with ability, but then you have to work unbelievably hard at making the most of that. And my own personal story was playing Sunday League football and school football, and I was scouted at that level and went to Blackburn Rovers, and they actually rejected me at 15 years of age, and I cried for 2 days as a young lad does, and I thought that I was done with football. But then Blackpool came and offered me the chance to go and play at their centre of excellence, which I duly took. And so after many hours of hard work and commitment to the cause, they offered me a professional contract when I was 17.
I just wanted to ask you about your position at the moment as a player for York City Football Club.
Just a player at York, and I'm delighted to be there because I actually was considering retirement in the summer, but when the season started, realised I loved and missed football too much, so I was really grateful for that opportunity to play for such a good club. But as chairman of the PFA, I'm kind of a spokesperson and figurehead for the union. The chairman has to be a current professional, so that his views and opinions are relevant and current. And in that role, I do find myself doing a lot of interviews and commenting on topics that are relevant, currently in the news. And not only that, I try and be a first port of call for any of our members if they do need any help or need some advice. I make sure that I am always available 24/7. I know that I don't know many of the answers, but I always know a man who does.
And the current campaign, Kick Racism Out of Football, how would you assess the effectiveness of that campaign, and how at what level is it really taking root?
Yeah, it's a good and prominent question. In light of recent events, we've had a couple of high-profile incidents over the past season, and people are using that as a way to undermine the Kick It Out campaign and the anti-discrimination campaigns that have been ongoing for some 20, 30 years. We've made great strides, and society has come a long way, and we're now actually moving on from not just telling people that racism is wrong or that they need to be inclusive, but actually educating future generations. A lot of what you don't see that happens on a weekly basis is show racism the red card and kick it out, going into schools, local communities, holding seminars and conventions, and actually opening the minds of the next generation of supporter and player, which is pivotal in a fight against, for any cause.
Just wanted to find from yourself just an inspirational message for the aspiring footballers or the ones who think one day they'd like to be in a position like yours.
Well, my message to any aspirational young player is one of focus. You're going to have to make sacrifices to make it in football, because there are literally millions of young lads who are all fighting for what are only 2,500 current playing positions, across the country. So you're going to have to be dedicated. You're going to have to maybe forego some things when your mates are going out doing one thing. You might have to forego that because you've got to make sure that you can perform to your maximum the next day. But even more than that, I've never been the best player at any club that I've played at. Not at any age group from probably under 12s through. But what I always did was I always performed to my maximum. And a hard-working average player will achieve infinitely more than a lazy, talented one. So don't ever let anyone question your commitment and your application, because that will see you be more successful than those people who are intermittent with how they apply themselves. But be real. education is imperative, because if you don't make it in football, you're going to need another career to go into. And even if you do, I'm taking a degree at present because I'm going to need another job now, and I'm only 32 years of age. I might be old in footballing terms, but in life I'm still very young, and I've got another half a lifetime to live.